Hi, Sat Sri Akal, Namaste, Adab, and welcome to another episode of the Mindfulness with Yogini podcast. I'm your host, Aarti Kukreja, and I'm very excited to talk about today's topic, which is microadventures. Those small yet incredible steps that you take intentionally to lead a significantly evolved life. Let me share my journey with you about microadventures before we get into the nitty gritty of it all. I've had the privilege and honor to visit 60 plus countries and have tried almost every extreme sport, whether it's deep sea diving, skydiving, skinny dipping in the icy waters, or trekking some of the steepest mountains in the world. My friends and I like to joke that I'm the Alex Honnold of our group because I'm constantly pushing boundaries and chasing my wildest dreams. But here's something that I don't always share. I'm terrified right before I go on these thrilling escapades. My heart starts racing, doubts start to creep in, fear grips me every single time. But despite the fear, I always make a conscious choice to override the amygdala, the part of the brain that deals with the fear, and commit to making these dreams a reality. But let's get real for a moment. Life isn't always about extreme sports or grand adventures. In fact, many a times we don't even have the time to pursue it. And sometimes when we're in these situations, we feel discomfort, pain, or even tragedy has taken over us, and we just want to retreat to our comfort zone, a place that we call home. And in these moments, the courage to step out of your comfort zone, even in the most minor ways, becomes crucial. It's how we build resilience, confidence, character, and self-worth. And this is what the micro-adventure movement is. In today's fast-paced world, we are constantly hit with this idea of go big or go home. It's almost like we're not aiming for the most significant, grandest adventure, then what's the point anyway? But with that mindset, it can hold us back from trying some new things because we feel we have to achieve the ultimate difficult level even with the most minimal prep. Then we just miss the journey, the joy of starting something small, experiencing those subtle pleasures, and gradually building up to those significant feats. It's a bit like our pursuit to perfection. As human beings, we're all work in progress, but we're chasing after the finished product and wanting to get there as quickly as possible. We're used to extrapolating from one extreme to another, always aiming for that perfect outcome. Living in the 21st century does not help that much with it either, because social media is constantly showing us these big successes that happen in short periods or overnight with seemingly minimal efforts. It's easy to get caught up in that illusion, isn't it? And then feel disappointed when we can't achieve similar results in smaller feats of time. But let me ask you something. Can anyone just play Mozart's D minor after just a few piano classes? Even the most talented pianists will tell you that this is nearly unplayable piece that took them consistent years of practice with lots of failures. Yet, when we see the final product on social media, we feel like it's so easy to accomplish and it can happen really quickly, leading us to unrealistic expectations and inevitable disappointment. This kind of thinking can dampen our spirit to try something new when the new thing brings us joy, motivation, and the drive that seems almost impossible. And that's where Kaizen comes into play. This Japanese term means continuous minor improvements and changes for the better. And it's perfectly aligned with the idea of microadventures, a concept that Alistair Humphreys brought into the spotlight. So what exactly are microadventures? Well, they're these accessible, totally achievable experiences that push us beyond our comfort zones. Microadventures' beauty is that they don't require you to quit your job, travel halfway across the world. They can be as simple and spontaneous as a hike in a nearby park, trying out a new cuisine, or learning a new instrument. Dr. Emily Collins, a psychologist, puts it perfectly when she says, engaging in microadventures introduces novelty into our lives, stimulating creativity and fostering adaptability. Alistair Humphreys, an adventurer and advocate for microadventures, emphasizes that adventure isn't limited to grand expectation. His experiences like sleeping on a hilltop under the stars or cycling across continents shows us how small-scale adventures can also be highly transformative. Humphrey's belief that microadventures rekindles our sense of wonder of the everyday life reminds us of the richness and the simplest pleasures of this world. Spiritual perspectives on microadventures talk about how across various traditions, spiritual leaders often encourage stepping out of our comfort zones. Sister Maria, a Buddhist nun, reflects microadventures awaken us to the present moment, fostering gratitude and expanding our awareness. They are essential for spiritual growth. Isn't that a beautiful thought? By embracing small intentional changes, we open ourselves to new experiences, fostering deeper connection with the world and with ourselves. It's about finding the delicate balance between comfort and challenge, between staying safe and pushing ourselves to grow. So, how do we bring microadventures to our real life? Well, here are some practical ideas to get you started. A sunrise hike or a bike ride. Why not wake up early one day and head out to a nearby hill and look at the point that has a sunset view? Pack a thermos, your favorite coffee or tea, and enjoy watching the world come alive. Or an evening paddle. How about renting a kayak or a canoe or a paddleboard, or even exploring a local lake at dusk? The water is usually calmer and you will witness nature settling into the night. Perhaps you could try an urban exploration photo walk. Choose a neighborhood in your city that you haven't fully explored and spend an evening just wandering in its streets with your camera. Look out for interesting architecture, street art, and those hidden gems. Perhaps you'll be interested in some wild swimming. So research some safe spots for wild swimming near you, whether it's a lake, a river, or a natural pool. And take a dip and soak into feeling the water and completely immersing yourself into nature. Perhaps you're the camper type, so camp in your backyard. If you're not quite ready for the wilderness yet, why not just set up a tent and spend a night in your backyard? It's a great way to enjoy the outdoors while quickly accessing home comforts. And if you're like me, you will probably like a trail running adventure. Find a scenic trail nearby and challenge yourself to a trail run. The challenging terrain will keep things interesting and you'll get a great workout also while enjoying nature. Another thing that I really like to do is night photography excursions. Try experimenting with nighttime photography by heading to a dark location away from the city lights. You can capture stars, cityscapes, or even night-light trails. Or maybe you're ready to take a micro road trip with yourself or with your friends or family. Plan a short trip or a getaway to an attraction or a town you've never been to before and spend the day exploring its local foods, landmarks, hidden gems, and architecture. Maybe you will enjoy foraging. So why don't you get into nature, learn about edible wild plants, and take a walk around looking to identify some wild berries or mushrooms or greens. But please be safe when you do that. Perhaps a historical scavenger hunt is more of your type. Here's something you could do where you could get your friends together and get everybody to locate some historical sites or landmark and create a scavenger hunt for your friends. Visit these spots and learn from each other about its significance. I hope one, if not some of the above, will help you get on a new micro-adventure and start living more in the present moment. But if not, I'm sure you'll find a lot of references online as well. Now let's discuss what is the impact that micro-adventures actually have on our awareness and consciousness. Engaging in micro-adventures can profoundly impact our awareness and consciousness. We develop a heightened sense of mindfulness and presence of mind when we break out of our current routines and embrace some novelty. Dr. Collins states, micro-adventures challenges our preconceptions and broadens our perspectives, leading to a more open-minded approach to life. Think about it. When was the last time you tried something completely new, something out of your comfort zone, something that arose out of a little bit of fear or perhaps curiosity, or maybe you had some sense of wonder towards it? Think about it, make a plan, and let's just go do it. These small intentional experiences can be transformative, helping us see the world and ourselves in a new light. Embracing micro-adventures for growth. The micro-adventure movement invites us to reclaim our sense of wonder and exploration by stepping outside of our comfort zone, embracing new experiences to cultivate resilience, creativity, and a deeper appreciation for the world around us. As Alistair Humphreys puts it, adventure begins where your comfort zone ends. So, these small steps can lead to significant results, whether it's trying out a new hobby or exploring a new place or simply changing your routine. It's about embracing your journey and finding joy in growth and discovery. So, how can you pursue micro adventures daily, weekly, and in the medium and long term? Well, in terms of daily micro adventures, you can explore your neighborhood instead of taking the same route to work. Perhaps you could try a different street. Perhaps you could take a different train to get to where you were going. Perhaps you could stop a couple of stations early and start walking home or to work. So you could explore the wonders of different neighborhoods. Perhaps you could discover some hidden parks. You could look at a small charming bookstore or a peaceful green space or even a delicious food truck. The next one is outdoor workouts. Transform your regular exercise routine into an adventure. Instead of going to the gym, perhaps take a run at the park or take a hike at a nearby trail or do yoga in a local botanical garden. You'll definitely enjoy working in nature. So, weekly micro adventures. Like I recommended earlier, you could do a weekend camp. Find a nearby campground and escape the city for a night or two. Roast some marshmallows or chicken maybe. Tell your favorite stories to your friends and just enjoy the peace and calm of nature. Even a short camping trip can be highly rejuvenating from our regular routine. Bike packing. Pack your essentials in a backpack and explore your surroundings with a bike. You can camp along the way or find accommodations, perhaps in the countryside, while you get some exercise in nature. Maybe you're a water baby, so you could try out some water adventures like renting a kayak or a paddleboard or a canoe and explore a nearby lake or river or coastline. Perhaps you could go swimming or snorkeling, fishing, or even deep sea diving if that's what you're up to. Water activities are a great way to cool down and enjoy the outdoors. The next one is for people who perhaps don't want to leave the city or can't. You could still go urban exploring. Discover the hidden gems in your city, whether it's abandoned buildings, whether it's underground tunnels. Perhaps explore a thrilling way to see the city from a heightened viewpoint, which could change your perspective. Or perhaps you could just go food hopping, cafe hopping, or bar hopping with some friends. Next up are some mid-term micro adventures. Hiking and camping, like we've already talked about, are one of the options. Cycling tours is something you could definitely try. Coastal exploration, which could be a long holiday, camping along the coastline as you go along exploring it. You could also do some volunteering trip, where not only do you explore adventures in new surroundings or cities or countries, but you also volunteer for environmental or community projects. You could help do beach cleanups or plant trees or even work with some local organizations in a completely new town or space. Volunteering is an excellent way to feel rewarded while also exploring the world in a different way. Long-term micro-adventures. Perhaps if you can afford to, then you should look at taking a gap year or a sabbatical so you can explore different countries and cultures. You could travel individually as a solo traveler or with group tours or even go and volunteer abroad. A gap year is an excellent opportunity for personal growth and development because even when you're looking outward, everything is pointing to you to go within. You could also live a digital nomad lifestyle. Now, I seem to, be the flag bearer of this campaign because I do work remotely and I get to travel the world because of it. And with the rise of technology worldwide, this is becoming much more easier than before. So you could perhaps combine your travel and passion just like I do. Overlanding. Combine camping, travel, and self-sufficiency in an entire vehicle. Explore remote areas, camp in stunning locations, and explore the freedom of the open road. Overlanding is a great way to immerse yourself in nature and connect with different cultures. Perhaps you could try trail running or ultra marathons. Challenge yourself to a long distance running event in stunning locations, train for races or marathons or ultra marathons, and enjoy the thrill of physical and mental investment and the benefits of running. So, that brings us to the end of the episode about microadventures. But let me leave you with some final thoughts. In a world where we often prioritize productivity and efficiency, microadventure offers a phenomenal pathway for meaningful growth and self discovery. We can expand our awareness and consciousness by experiencing different perspectives and incorporating small changes into our routine and embracing new experiences. So, are you ready for the magic of microadventures? Start small and dream big. Until then, this is your Mindfulness with Yogini podcast host Aarti Kukreja. Sat Sri Akal, Namaste, Adab, and bye.